With the dot-com bubble came the explosive need for building websites. Trying to build a profitable business without a website is virtually impossible in today's world. Now there's a new bubble emerging, one that's going to change the way that we operate our businesses forever. That bubble is AI chatbots. AI chatbots are truly game changers. These technologies can optimize the way businesses generate leads, nurture existing leads, and the cost of support teams. These chatbots are truly powerful because they can work 24/7, 365 days a year. That means you'll never miss a single lead. They cost a fraction of human support teams, and they never make mistakes. So in this video, I'll walk you through building a chatbot for a travel agency, one that generates leads through a personalized budget and answers users' questions effortlessly. But remember, this is only one case study. The places where AI chatbots can be implemented are vast, from e-commerce stores to medical practices. There's a place for AI chatbots in every single business. So if you're curious about how AI can transform your business, I've actually created a free ebook that's an A to Z guide of how to implement AI into your existing business. So you can grab a copy using the link that's in the description down below. But before we dive into the video, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Nemisi, an AI entrepreneur and founder of Next Orbit AI. Over the past few weeks, I've been building powerful AI solutions for businesses, including this exact chatbot that I built for a client who owns a travel agency. They were looking to optimize and automate the lead generation process, and this chatbot is shaping up to do exactly that, saving them time, reducing costs, and delivering a seamless customer experience for their customers. So if you're interested in doing the exact same thing for your business, you can book a free AI discovery call with me using the link that's in the description down below. Now let's jump into the video. When it comes to building AI chatbots that generate leads, offering free value first is key. For example, you can create a chatbot for a solar installation company that calculates the user's savings when they switch to solar. Or you can create an AI chatbot for a nutritionist that creates personalized meal plans for each user based on their goals, preferences, and tastes. But in this video, we'll be building a travel agency chatbot that is able to create a custom travel budget for its users using live accommodation and flight prices. And additionally, it can also recommend a travel destination based on the user's preferences. As you can see, offering free personalized value upfront makes these chatbots a perfect tool for generating leads. This framework can be adopted to create a lead generation chatbot for virtually any industry. As long as you're offering value first, the leads will come. To build this chatbot, we'll be using three key tools. The first tool is Voiceflow. Voiceflow is an easy to understand yet incredibly powerful AI chatbot building platform. The second tool that we'll be using is Make.com. Make.com is a tool for creating automations that make your chatbots more powerful using APIs. And the third tool that we're going to be using is Booking.com API. This will allow us to get live flight prices and accommodation info and prices. So now that you have a clear idea of what we're doing and the tools that we'll be using, let's dive into the step-by-step process of building this chatbot. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully functioning chatbot that can generate leads and answer users' questions. So let's get into the video now. What your Voiceflow workspace will look like. So you just want to click at the top right here that says New Agent. Click that button, and you're going to give your agent a name. For this example, I'm just going to use Chatbot template, and start a template. Just use the customer support chat template. So that will help us with the FAQ part. I recommend that you just use the templates when you're starting out. So just say skip, you don't need a web page, but if you do, you can just import it there. So the first part that we need to set up is the knowledge base. So this is where you can add data sources. So this will allow the chatbot to create answers to the user based on the information of, say, your travel agency or your business specifically. So I'm just going to add some dummy information that I created for a travel agency. You can add any information for your business here. That doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to add a plain text, but you can add URLs, sitemaps, or you can even upload a file. So I'm just going to add some plain text. So all the resources that I use in this video will be linked in the description down below. So if you want to follow along and build this exact chatbot, just use the resource link that's in the description down below. So to walk you through this data source that I just added, I just got some featured travel packages over here. And at the bottom, it's just got some booking details and discounts and some contact information and some links. So that is all we need at this stage for the FAQ part, since it's just a dummy chatbot that we're building out here. So just click on this customer support part right here. So what we're going to do is we want to keep this because this will basically help us with the FAQ side. So we're just going to move it to a different page though. So just want to drag, shift click and copy all of this and just delete it. off this, you want to add a new workflow on the left over here, and we're going to name this workflow FAQ. So we're going to create that workflow, and we're just going to paste this all here. And we'll come back to this when we're setting up that FAQ part. So let's go back to the home workflow, and we can just change the name here. Let's just rename this to say to be main menu. And that's just what we'll do there. And now we're just going to use this place to introduce the chatbot to the user and just explain some of the chatbot's functions. You're going to click on this start button right here by this circle, and a plus button will appear. It's going to click that, drag it to the side here, and say talk and message. You can say, hi there, I'm Chatbot, and we're just going to explain its functions. So I've just introduced the chatbot and explained its functions, so it can help you with the next vacation or answer any questions that the user might have. So an exclamation mark there. So now what we're going to do is just create a listen step. Go to buttons, and this will basically listen for a trigger, and we'll just set up the triggers. So basically a trigger is what allows the chatbot to jump around to different workflows like the FAQ workflow, and will later create a destination generator workflow. And that basically just makes your chatbot a lot more powerful and able to understand what the user wants exactly. So let's go back to the FAQ part, and we'll set up the FAQ part before we go on to the dynamic travel budget, because it's the easiest part to set up because most of the resources are already made for you in Voiceflow. So we're just going to create a trigger, and we're going to add a trigger, say intent. I'm going to use the none intent, so if it's not able to pick up an intent, it's going to default to here. To understand how this FAQ part is working, you can use this workflow over here. You can just listen to what I'm saying. So once the user types a message into the user interface, it'll be saved to a variable called question. So this question will basically be summarized and asked to the user to see if this is an accurate question, and this is exactly what they need help with. So if they say yes, it's going to search the knowledge base to see if the user's question is a part of the knowledge base. And if it's not a part of the knowledge base, the minimum chunk score was not met, then we're going to create an AI step. We're going to do that next. But if it is a part of the knowledge base, then it's going to use AI to create an answer based on the knowledge that's in the knowledge base. So let's set up the AI step that'll basically be a catch-all to any question that the user might have. So to do that, we're just going to say prompt right here. I'm going to create a prompt. I'm going to say catch all answer. Just going to paste the system prompt right there. I'm going to give it instructions right there, and just going to add conversation history. I'm just going to drag that to over here. Okay, so I just forgot to mention that you have to delete the step that was over here for this chatbot to work in the way that we want it to work. So to do that, just delete it. So you're going to right click on the block and just say delete, and you're going to replace it with a different block. When you go to the logics module over there, go to set, place that right there, and the variables that we want to set, we want to say value or expression, and the variable that we want to change is going to be last utterance, and we're going to apply it to a variable named question, just like that. So just going to drag that right there, drag the none intent to be here. And for these two steps right here, what you want to do is add another listening module. So you're going to go to buttons, actually you're going to go to capture, and what we're going to do is remove automatically reprompt and go to entire user reply and listen for triggers, listen for other triggers, and we want to go back to this block right here, and you can do the same for this step over here. So I'm going to capture, do the same thing, click over there, entire user reply, save to last utterance, listen for other triggers, and go right there. So now let's just test to see if this is working in the way you'd expect it to. So you can go back to the beginning and click start. Let's just ask a simple question like, what is your email address? It's just giving us confirmation, and we can say yes right here. You can reach us at this booking right here. How else can we help you? You can just ask, what is your phone number as well? I just say yes right here, and it's perfect. So that is that FAQ of the chatbot set up. So now that the FAQ part of the chatbot is done, let's actually build the part of the chatbot that will gain us leads. So to do that, we're just going to say new workflow, and we're going to label this workflow budget. I'm going to click on the trigger, say plus, click on the plus button right there, and go to intent, I'm going to create an intent. I'm going to label this intent travel budget. Trigger this intent. So now we just need to give it some sample phrases so it can understand when a user wants to jump to this intent. So we're going to say, just give it some few examples and we can generate the rest. So I would like a travel budget. How can I get a travel budget? How much will it cost to go on vacation? And we can just generate the rest. So we can generate 10 sample phrases and say create intent. Now we can just ask the user if they have a destination in mind or if they would like us to generate a destination based on their preferences. So we're going to say message right there and say, do you have a destination in mind? Cool. And we can just use buttons here. So you go to listen and go to buttons and click right here and say yes. Add another, no. So if they don't have a destination in mind, what we want to do is basically create a travel destination based on their preferences. So we're going to create a new workflow to do that. So to do that, we're just going to click on workflows right here, enter workflow name, we'll name it destination generator. Create that workflow. And in this destination generator, just going to delete this trigger right here, we don't need it. And we're just going to use a message step and say, yeah, I can help you determine the next location. I'm going to label this block just destination. I'm going to go back here and we're just going to click on that circle there, go to actions, go to block, and we're going to search destination generator destination. So every time the user says no, it's going to go to that block to show you how that would look like. And just test it out, say no, then it jumps to this block. So now let's actually dynamically recommend a destination for the user based on their preferences. So we can first ask them what kind of vacation they're looking for. So we can say message step right here. Next thing that we're going to add here is going to be a carousel. So we're going to go to talk, go to carousel. We're going to add that right there. So for the carousel, you can basically add a photo and enter a card title and then add a button for that exact card title. So for example, you can have a picture of a beach here and you just label the card title like relaxation. They would like a vacation where they're relaxing. So you can add a button and that will basically save that as a variable which the AI can use later to determine the type of holiday that they would require. So I'm just going to quickly populate this out and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. As you can see, I've basically populated it out with an image and a card title and a bit of a description. So I've got different types of holiday packages that the user might want. There's relax and recharge, there's adventure, there's culture and history, nature and wildlife, and city life. I've added buttons to all of them, which will basically save their choice in a variable. So to save their preferences, just click on the circle icon right here and just go to logic, go to set, variables to set, value or expression. I'm just going to create a new variable. I'm going to label it trip type and I'm going to create a variable. So the variable trip type needs to basically correlate with the selection that the user has made. So this variable is connected to the relaxation one, so we're going to enter the variable value to be relaxation. Okay, now we need to set it up for the rest of the trip types. So you're going to click right here, go to logic, set, variables to set, value expression, variable to set. You're going to search trip type because it's already created now, and we're going to say adventure for this one. And it's going to repeat that for the other ones. So now that we've asked them the type of trip, we can now ask them to explain the type of weather they would like on their holiday. So to do that, just going to go talk, step, just drag that right there. It's going to connect all of these blocks to this message block right here. So to do that, you can just drag and click. We're going to say got it, and we can say got it right there. And we can add another message that says, what is your preferred climate? I'm just going to give the user 3 options here. So we're going to go to buttons for this one. And we can just add buttons. We can say warm and sunny. Add another one, we can say cool and crisp. And the last one, we can just say no preference. And similar to last time, it's going to save the user's selection into a variable by doing the set step. So logic, set, variables to set, value expression. I'm going to create a new variable here. That's called weather. Create variable. And like last time, just make sure that the selection and what you save in the variable correlate. We'll do the same thing as last time, just connect them all up to another message block. So just go to talk and just connect them all up now. And now what we're going to ask them is how far they're willing to travel. And we're going to use buttons again this time. I'm going to go to buttons, I'm going to add a button, you can say short distance, another button and say moderate distance, and add a final button, say anywhere in the world. And like the previous 2 times, we're going to use a set step. that saves the user's selection. Go logic, set, variables to set, value expression, and create a variable, say travel distance. I just want to make sure that the value correlates with the user selection. So I'm going to say short distance for this one, and we can just do the same for the other two. And the last question I need to ask the user is what their budget is. So we're going to grab another talk step and just ask, what is your budget? And just drag that over there. And once again, we're using buttons. I have 3 options. So I'm going to say low, add another button, medium, and then finally high. And then like we've been doing, add a set step, make sure they correlate, that the user's preference and the variable's value correlate. So value expression. I'm going to create a new variable here. I'm going to name it budget, create the variable, and we're going to say low for this one. I'm going to do the same thing for the other two. And now we're just going to confirm to the user that we've gotten all their preferences and that we want to create a dynamic recommendation for them now. Drag them all up together and you say, got it. So now what we want to do is add a response AI part. We're going to go AI, response AI. And once again, you're just going to use the prompt that I've pasted in the description down below, but you might just need to change the variables to apply to your variables. So as you can see, I pasted it in the prompt right here. So that so the variables that you need to change are going to be the travel type, climate, weather, distance, and budget all here. So you're just going to change those and just put in the ones that you've saved from the variables. So to do that, just going to come here, just going to type in the squiggly brackets. You can say distance for travel distance, for example. You also do the same thing for over here. So the function that we're going to set up now will allow the user to get a new travel destination if they're unhappy with the first recommendation that the AI gave it. So to do that, we're just going to add another set step right here under logic below this. And we're going to create a new variable, value expression, create a variable, and we're going to label this variable AI response. Create that variable, and we're going to save it to, and its value is going to be last response. And we actually want to use a set AI step right here. And the next thing that I want to extract from this to basically be able to give a new recommendation is the destination that this message entailed. So to do that, you want to go to logic, go to set, and that's another step. This time you want to click prompt. Select a prompt, we're going to create the prompt. And once again, the prompt I create will be in the description down below. So once you've pasted in the prompt, and what you're going to do is going to add the user conversation history. So you're going to click this add button here and say add conversation history. So what we're going to do now is apply this to a variable. We're going to create a variable and we're going to label it destination. Create variable. And we're going to ask the user if this recommendation meets their expectations. And we're going to give the user choices. So we're going to go to listen and not buttons. We're going to go to choices right here. So we're going to add triggers here and go to here. I want to create an intent. It's going to be a yes intent. Triggers intent when a user agrees. You can say yes, yep, correct, and just generate the rest. Create that intent. And then we're going to add a no intent. Travel budget intent no. When a user disagrees, I just say no, negative, and just generate the rest. Create intent. And the final one is going to be a none intent. So if they say yes to the destination, we can now create a travel budget for them using the destination that the AI gave them. And we'll go back to the budget part. So we're going to say talk, message, say great, let's start planning a destination. I'm just going to jump back to the block. So we can go actions, jump to block. I'm going to leave it empty for now. So if they say no or the intent is none, we can start the process where we give them another destination. So we can just click here and we're going to go to logic at first and go to conditions. So basically we're going to have 2 parts here. One where the suggestion count is less than 3 and one if it's greater than 3. Because if the suggestion count is greater than 3, maybe the user's looking for something very specific, and we want to have a case for that where we just basically send them over to the travel agent, or the chatbot asks them exactly where they want to go and starts planning the budget for that place that they want to go. So you can click pass right here, Condition builder, if variable, you can create a variable. So let's say recommendation count or just suggestion count. Create variable is 3. Go down one path, and we can create that path right now. Say talk step, and just say looks like you're looking for something specific. Looks like you're looking for something specific. How about you tell me your dream destination? So then we're gonna go down to listen step. We're gonna go capture. We're gonna go to entities, and we're gonna go to entire user reply. Save that to last utterance, and it's gonna use a set AI step next to extract the destination that they're looking for. So set AI, city plus country. This is important to have it exactly to be city plus country, because it will basically help us get the live flight prices and accommodation prices. So we need to go back to the prompt, and once again it'll be a description down below, so just paste what I put there. And you want to put the last utterance into this position right here. And then once you've got that, you just want to apply the variable to destination. That's the one we created earlier, like that. And then we want to link this to this block right here. But if it's not less than 3, now we can set up the part where we ask the user what they were unhappy about the last recommendation, and we can use that in another AI step to create a new travel destination for the user. So when I go to the else step, just create a talk message step. You can just say no problem, what didn't work for you in the last recommendation. Cool. Once you got that there, you just go to capture the entire user reply, and save that to last utterance. And now we're going to say a new AI suggestion. So go to AI, response AI, and just copy the prompt that I put in the description down below into this place over here. So once again, you just want to populate this prompt with your own variables that you created. So for example, you have the trip type, the weather, whatever. You also want to use that AI response variable that we created. This AI step can alter the previous response. So that's okay. So now what we want to do is just update the set counter by 1. You can probably do this with code, but I don't know the code. So we're just going to use AI. It doesn't hurt. Go to set AI step right here, and enter set label, which is a suggestion counter. And we're just going to use an AI model right here. And you can just use the prompt that I put in the description down below. I'm going to apply this variable to suggestion count. And if you know how to code, I can show you how to do it. You can probably go to set step, click that right there. You can use value expression, and you can just use JavaScript to update the suggestion count variable by 1. But I do not do that, so just delete that. Just use AI. Cool. So now what we're going to do is just going to drag this step back to over here, and we're going to grab this suggestion count plus 1 and bring it to set destination to destination extract. So it's going to ask the user again if the recommendation meets the expectations. If the updated recommendation does not, it's going to go down this same path again. But if it does, it's going to go down here, and they've got a new destination. So, and the none path is going to connect it straight to right here, to this if condition statement. So now the dynamic destination generator is set up. We can just test to see if everything's working the way we would like it. Cool. So now that the agent has been trained, you can get speaking to the chatbot now. Let's say I'm seeking some adventure. The variable got saved to adventure. That's great. Let's just say cool and crisp. Willing to travel anywhere in the world. See, all the variables are saving, so that's what we want. Let's say I've got a high budget. Set that, okay, cool. So it's given us New Zealand as a destination. It knows that I'm South African. That's part of the prompt. You can change that to be any country that you're from. So in the specifics, you can just say all the users are from South Africa. You can change that to be the location where you're from. But yeah, let's say I'm not happy with the destination. No. Let's say I want to do some snowboarding. Now it recommends British Columbia, Canada. So that is perfect for me. Let's say yes. Yes, it does. And it literally got the exact place, the city, and the country. So now we just need to connect this back to the budget planning part. So that is the destination generator complete. Let's go back to the budget part. So if they have a destination in mind, ask them where they want to go. So we can say talk, say where are you planning to travel. So we actually just want to capture the user's response. So to do that, we're just going to go here, grab the capture step. I'm going to create an entity. I'm going to call it destination 1 to be clear. Go down to this data type, geography right there. Hit the entity, we're going to automatically reprompt. And we need to add some rules here that will basically ensure that the user's response is exactly in the format that we need to get an accurate budget using Booking.com API. So the first rule is users must specify both city and country. And the next rule is that it must only be a single destination. Ignore my misspelling right there. And the reason we're labeling it destination 1 is because we already created a variable named destination, and you can't have a destination variable and a destination entity. So to overcome that, we can just go to a set AI step, or set step, it doesn't have to be set AI. Go to value expression, select variable that you want to set. We're going to say destination, the one that's spelled correctly. And the variable that we want to do is destination 1. So it's going to save it to this variable now. Cool, now we're just going to talk to the user, just say that this is a great destination. The destination is a great choice. Now we're just going to ask the user when they want to depart, talk, message, and we need to ask the user to format it in a specific way, once again, to get an accurate budget from the Booking.com API. Please format your response like this. Okay, cool, now we're just going to get a capture step right here. And we're going to create a new entity. We're going to label it depart date, add that entity, select data type, it is a number. Data type, we're going to select date time, create that entity. I'm going to come back here and we're going to add some rules. The year must be 2025, or the year that you're watching this video. It must be an actual date. So example 2025-01-34 is not valid, and it must be in the requested format. So now we ask the user what city they want to depart from, talk, message, and it's going to capture their response. Capture. I want to create a new entity, and it's going to be departure city, and it's going to be geography. Create entity, and we'll create some few rules just to specify the triggers. And the rule will be no abbreviations / nicknames. And now we're going to ask the user when they plan to return. Talk or capture, listen, capture. Entity, we're going to create a new entity, and it's going to be return date, and it's going to be date time, data type, create that. And we're going to turn off listen for other triggers, and the rules must be in 2025 like the previous one, must be an actual date, and it must be in the requested format. Let's just also talk to them. Please format. Cool, and let's just talk to them saying that's a great time to visit that destination, just like that. I'm going to connect it to another option where we ask them what class they would like to fly, e.g. like economy, premium economy, and business and first. We're going to say talk, message, and we're going to add some buttons right here, and we're going to add economy, premium, economy, business, and first. And what we want to do here is like similar to the recommendation point, is we're going to use a set step and set a new variable that we're going to create. We're going to label it class, create that variable, and we're going to make sure that the value correlates to the user selection. So this one's going to be economy, and it must be all caps for the Booking.com API. It's going to do the same for the other 3 classes. Now we need to ask them the type of accommodation that they prefer, like budget, mid-range, or luxury. So we're going to create a message step and just add some more buttons. But first, let's join these together. So we're going to add some button steps right here. And we're going to say budget, add another mid-range, and lastly, luxury. What we want to do is use a set variable that's going to save the accommodation standard in a variable. So value expression, the value, we're going to say standard. Let's label it hotel standard. Create the variable and just make sure you join it up. So the next question I need to ask the user is how many adults are traveling. So to do that, just go to message on the side there and search up how many adults are traveling, and just join it up to the previous set AI steps or set steps. and we want to save that response into an entity. So we're going to capture that entity, number adults, and it's going to be a number. Create that entity. Now we need to ask if the user is traveling with children. Message. I just want to make sure we turn off listen for other triggers here. We want to give them an option with yes or no, so we use buttons here. We go yes, add another no. So if yes, let's just set that up. You can ask them how many children, and you can just use a capture step here. Entities, create an entity. I can label it number of children. Select the data type. You can choose number here. Create that entity. Switch off listen for other triggers. And for the booking.com API, to get an accurate price, we need to actually get the ages of the children. So we need to ask them again, message, what are the ages of the children? But now we need to save the entire reply to a variable. Enter user reply. Okay, cool. I'm gonna set that up. So cool, we can leave it there for now. And I'm just gonna go back to the no part. That's going to use a set step value or expression. So we're going to create a variable called children age. I'm going to create that variable. I'm going to set it to 20. There's a reason for that I'll go through in the make scenario setup. So we're going to have to format this user response into a format that can be read by the API. So to do that, we're just going to use a set AI step like that. I'm going to say child format, say age format. And once again, the prompt that I use will be in the description down below. Once again, just make sure that the variable that you created over here is the same as the one in the prompt right here. So now for the last question that we need to get from the user to generate an accurate budget is going to be the number of rooms that they can require. You can say, finally, how many rooms do you require? You can just join these up. I'm going to capture the response into a variable, create entity, you're going to say room quantity, the data type is going to be a number, create that entity, do not listen for other triggers. Now we can actually connect the Voiceflow scenario to the booking.com API. So to do that, we're going to use make as a medium that can basically summarize the information that it gets from booking.com API and send it back to the Voiceflow to display for the user. So to do that, what we need to do is just click on this right here, go to dev and search API, and you're going to go post. So let's head over to make.com and set this scenario up. So this is make.com. This is what's going to allow us to create the automations that are going to connect the API with booking.com and our Voiceflow. So you can either get started right here, or you can just log in if you have an account already. So I'm just going to log in. So this is what your make scenario is going to look like. So you just want to create a new scenario at the top right over here. Okay, so once you've created your scenario, what you want to do is create a webhook. So you're going to choose this webhooks module over here. Select that and go custom webhook. So you're just going to add a new webhook and we can name it whatever. I'm just going to name it chatbot template and click save. So you're going to copy this address to your clipboard and you're going to paste it into your Voiceflow. So just say copy address to clipboard right here and head over to Voiceflow, and in this API block that we set up last time over here, so you're going to click into the request URL and you're going to paste the make.com variable into them. So the next thing that we need to do here is set up some headers. So the headers that you want to do is content type, and that's the only one that we need for this scenario. So we're going to search content dash type, this one over here, and its value you're going to enter application/JSON, just like this, that exact value and code. So we can actually test to see if this webhook is working. We just click run once right here and then head over back to Voiceflow. You just want to create a body. This key doesn't matter, we can make it anything for now. You can say budget, and let's just see if this is working. Okay, and we can just say send, and we can just enter anything in there, and 200 means the request is all good. So as you can see, it came through. Let's finish setting up this API block in Voiceflow. So we just want to add the information that we collected from the user and send it over to make.com. So to do that, you're just going to go over to the body. You're going to choose form data right here. And it's going to add these exact keys and value pairs that I give you. And we want to capture a response back. So what we're going to capture is a flight price. I'm going to set this up in make.com so you can just follow along there. And we're just going to create a variable and we're going to label it flight price. Create that variable. and then we're also going to create hotel info. Hotel info is the object, and we're going to create a variable hotel info, just like that. So we're going to create that variable. So now I'm just going to send off some dummy data just so we can configure this make scenario with the data that we used. So we're going to click run once there, and we're just going to send off some information. You can just fill out with anything. Yeah, like this. And if your variables get cut off like this, what you need to do is just go into your settings here and just zoom out. It's just a bug that's there with the Voiceflow. So you can just send that over. 200 means it's all good. We're not expecting a response back. So now we've got all the information sent over that we're going to need. So the next part that we're going to add is we're going to add a router right here. We're going to add a flow control and go to router. So basically we're going to set up an HTTP response, and that's basically going to connect the booking.com API to the make scenario that we're building out right now. So you're going to click on this plus over here and you're going to search HTTP, make a request. Okay, so now we need to connect our booking.com API to the make scenario. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to head over to Rapid API. So this is going to basically allow you to connect the booking.com API to your make scenario. So you're just going to sign in or sign up. And then once you've signed in, you're going to search booking.com at the top. It's the exact one right there. So this is what your booking.com API is going to look like. So you don't need to worry about all the code here. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So what you're going to do is go over to flights tab over here and go to search flights over here. The Rapid API key and some of the information will be blurred out for you because those are my personal keys, but you can still follow along with your own keys. So what you want to do is go to the URL over here, as you can see on this side. And you're going to grab this URL over here up until destination. You're going to ignore the query and new. So you're going to copy that. You're going to go over back to make.com. You're going to paste it in this URL field right here. This is exactly what it should look like, regardless of your API key. So this is what it look like for everyone. The method will be get, and now we need to add some headers. So the first header that you need to add is your Rapid API key. So you're going to paste this as the name, and I'm going to show you how to get your own key for the value. It'll be blurred out for you because it's my personal one, like I said. So you're going to go back to booking.com. It's going to be this key right here. It's going to be highlighted on the screen. It'll be this key over here. You're going to paste that into the value that's over here. I'm going to add another header, and it's going to be Rapid API host. So you're just going to grab this over here, Rapid API host, copy that, and you're going to paste it in over here. And you're just going to grab this highlighted thing over on your screen right here. You're going to paste it into the value field under Rapid API host. And then we're going to add a query string. So what you're going to do is add a parameter. Its name is going to be query, and the value will be this destination that we're trying to search. So let me explain to you what this HTTP module is doing. It's basically just getting information about the airport that the person wants to fly to, the destination that they're going to. So it's going to get the airport code that we'll use in the next step to basically get the flight prices from different airports to different airports. I'm going to rename it to arrival. Click OK. So this is actually where you can optimize this template that I'm giving you right now. I'm actually currently using ChatGPT to synthesize the information that I get from the arrivals and most of the HTTP modules, but I'm pretty sure if you're familiar with make.com, you could probably find a more efficient way of doing it. But this is a simple way for anyone who doesn't know exactly what to do using make.com, and just follow along if you're unfamiliar with make.com. So just add another module, and you're going to go to OpenAI ChatGPT. You're going to create a completion. You're going to have to add a ChatGPT account. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to click add right here. This is what's going to show up. And you're going to have to import your API key into this field over here. So let me show you where you can get your API key. You're going to go over to platform.openai.com, and you're just going to log in or sign up if you don't have an account. So I'm just going to log in here. So once you've logged in, you're going to go over to this settings icon right here. You're going to click API keys, and you're going to copy this secret API key. You're going to paste it into the API key field, the one that's over here. But I'm not going to do that because I've already connected my account. And the model that we're going to go for is going to go to GPT 3.5 Turbo. So it's going to add a message. So that's basically the prompt that we're giving ChatGPT. We're going to role, we're going to use developer/system. And for the role, we're going to use user. So you can just copy and paste the prompt that I have in the description down below. But you're going to have to edit something. You're going to have to add this data that's over here from your previous HTTP module. So you're just going to click data right there, and that's all you need to configure. and you're just going to leave the maximum completion tokens. We're going to edit that to be 150, and that's all you need. Just going to click save over here. All you need to do now is set up an HTTP module that will basically get information about the departure airport. So how to do that, we can just copy and paste this module and just change some key fields. So you just right click it and click clone, just drag it right there and it'll automatically connect. And I'm just going to rename it to departure airport, and then we can just now edit some key fields. So you're going to leave your URL the same and your Rapid API key and Rapid API host the same. But what we're going to do is change the query from destination to departure city, just like that. So actually I forgot to explain to you what this ChatGPT step is doing. It's just basically synthesizing the information that we get from this one and extracting an airport ID that we can use in the following steps. So we can actually just clone this one and just copy and paste it over here, and just also change a few things. So in this prompt, you're going to want to change the data that you give it to be the data from the departure airport module. And I'm going to click save. So now we're going to set up the HTTP module that's going to get the flight price from the departure airport to the arrival airport. So to do that, we're just going to set up another HTTP module. Click HTTP and go to make a request. I'm going to head over back to the booking.com API. I'm going to go to the flights tab. You're going to click get minimum price. So you're going to click that, right? And then for the URL, you're going to copy this URL over here. You're going to copy the URL from the HTTPS to the before the question mark. Yeah, copy that, and you're going to paste it in right here. And you're going to use the same headers that you did for the previous two HTTP modules. So just going to add the Rapid API key and a Rapid API host in the same way that you did it last. And now we're going to add some query strings. I need to walk you through exactly what we're doing here. So this is what's going to basically give us the exact flight price for the information that the user provided. And you just need to follow me step by step. So the first key that we need to create is a from ID. So you're going to search from, capital ID. The value will be this ChatGPT step right here. So this ChatGPT result right here. And then we're going to add another parameter. This is going to be to ID. This is where the person is flying to. And we're just going to add this ChatGPT result. As you can see, it's just flashing and pulsing. So we're going to click that. That's the one that we want. And now we're going to add another parameter, which is going to be the depart date. And the value be this depart date right here. That's why we had to format it exactly like that when we were asking the user for their depart date. And we're also going to add return date, the value, return date like that. And you're going to add another parameter, which is going to be the number of adults. The name is going to be adults, and the value will be adults, just like that. The next one that we need to add is children age. So you're going to do children underscore age. So I'm just going to explain to you what we're going to set up for the children age. So we're just going to set up an if function that if the children age is equal to 20, it's just going to raise the value of children age and just make it 0. So that's the reason why I told you that you need to set it up as 20 if they don't have children. Choose the if function. You go to the first column over here, click back on the star icon, scroll down to children age, go back to the gear icon and say equals. You're going to say 20, and you're going to say erase the second column right there, and in this last slot you're going to say children age, just like that. And the last parameter that we're adding is going to be the currency code. And search currency underscore code. So for this example, I'm just going to use the South African Rand, but you can use any currency code that you might want. So if you don't know the currency code of your country, I'll show you how to get it. So you can just search up currency code search and click on this first link right here, whatever code that you might need. There's so many. Value, I'm just going to add ZAR, and that is that module set up. So click save. I'm going to add another ChatGPT step here. I'm going to create a completion. The model is going to be GPT 3.5 Turbo. I'm going to add the messages, and once again the messages that I use will be in the description down below. So the first one is going to be developer/system. So I'm going to enter this first message explaining it's a string parse. So actually let me explain to you what this ChatGPT module is doing. It's basically getting the information from this HTTP module, and it's returning the flight which has an offset day of 0. Because the response of this HTTP module has different flights and the offset days vary from 1 offset day to maybe even 3 offset days. But we want the minimum price of the flight on the exact day that the user has requested, not maybe 1 day or 2 days before. So to do that, we're going to use the ChatGPT step, which we're building out now. So we're just going to add another message right now, and we'll go to user And now you're just going to paste the user message in right here. And the data that you need to fill out here will be from the last HTTP request. So you can click data. Let's actually name it so we don't forget it. So just rename it and name it flight price. Click OK. And also just make your tokens 900, the max completion tokens. So the last module for this branch is going to be a set variable tool. So you're going to click on this right here. You're going to go search tools and click set variable. And I'm going to name the variable flight underscore price, just like that. And it's going to be the result of this last ChatGPT module. So that's the first branch done that gets the information of the flight price. So let's test to see if everything's working as we expected. So we can just click run once right here, and we can just enter in some data into this Voiceflow API right here. So go back to Voiceflow and just enter some information and send that over. 200's all been sent. So as you can see, everything's working as expected. So this first HTTP module, it got some data. As you see, this is what the data looks like. It's very busy. That's why you basically need to use a ChatGPT step to synthesize it. But you could probably do it more efficiently using one of the text parses or anything that make.com offers that you might know that I don't. So if you do know something, please let me know in the description down below of how I can optimize this. But as you can see, it gives us many airports like Staten Airport, London Heathrow. So we've got those, and then we just got London Heathrow from that. So that's exactly what we wanted. So the departure airport, the data it gave us was Johannesburg City, so that's good. And we've got Johannesburg Airport, that's exactly what we want. And as you can see, we've got a lot of information about the different flight prices, and it gave us a lot of information, so that's why we used the ChatGPT step to extract an information. And the result is 9,500 Rand is the cheapest flight to London, and it got saved in the variable of flight price. So that is that done. So the next step that we need to do is actually get the accommodation info. So we can just use the same HTTP requests. Just going to click HTTP. I'm going to make a request. And for the URL, let's go back to booking.com API. And instead of flights, you're going to go to hotels. And you're going to click search hotel destination. And you're going to copy this link right here for the question mark. Copy that and paste it into this URL field right here. The headers are going to be the same headers that we set up in flight price and arrival airport and all of that. So it's just going to be your Rapid API key and your Rapid API host. So once you've got that, just going to add a query string. So you're going to add a query like that, and the value will be destination again. So this HTTP module is just getting information about the destination, so that we can use in the other HTTP requests that will get information about hotels in that area. We're just going to enable this hotel search raw, click OK, and then I'm going to add another ChatGPT step right here, create a completion. So this first ChatGPT step is just going to extract the destination ID from this information, set the max tokens to be 150, add a message here, go developer/system and just paste this in here, and just going to change this data that's over here to be the data from the hotel search, and click OK, click save. I'm going to add another ChatGPT step, just add create a completion, and this wasn't going to extract the search type that we're looking for. So we can just go GPT 3.5 turbo, the max tokens, set that to 150, add messages, go developer/system. Gonna paste the prompt that's in here. First, all that you need to fill out is going to be this data that's from this module over here, and the result of this one. That is what you need. Click save. Now you can set up an HTTP request to get all the hotels that are in that area. You can just click on this add button right here, go to HTTP, make a request, the URL. Let me show you where to get the URL. So you're gonna go to your booking.com API, go to search hotels. You're gonna get this URL over here. You're gonna go before the question mark like we've been doing. Go back to make, paste that URL in here. Headers are gonna be exactly the same as all the other headers we've set up. So now I'm gonna add a bunch of query strings right here. So I just say add parameter. First one that we're gonna add is gonna be the destination ID, dest_ID, like that. Value is gonna be the result of the first ChatGPT module. Place that there. I'm going to add another parameter. It's going to be search type, and it's going to be the result of the second ChatGPT module. And I'm going to add parameter, and the name is going to be arrival_date. The value depart date, and then departure date will be return date. Add another parameter, it's going to be adults, and the value is going to be adults like this, and you're going to add children age, and the value we need to set up like we did last time, so you can just copy and paste what we did there. Scroll down here and just copy and paste this, Control C, and paste in the same value like that, and add another parameter. It's going to be room quantity. I'm going to scroll down and click room quantity like that, and we're going to add the currency code, and for the value you can just choose the currency code of your currency. So I'm going to click ZAR here, and we're just going to click save. So this is where it gets very inefficient right now. So after this, we need to grab a whole lot of information from this HTTP module, basically synthesize it into one hotel. So I'm going to use ChatGPT, but if you have a better way of doing it, please let us know in the description so I can update this tutorial and benefit and optimize the system. So, but let's just follow along. If you're like me, you don't understand too much about JSON and HTML. So we're going to add another module, let ChatGPT do it for you, and just go to create a completion. And the reason it becomes very inefficient is because you're using GPT 4.0. I've tried all the other ones, this gives me terrible responses back. So we're going to use GPT 4.0 latest. And the max completion tokens, this is where it gets very inefficient. We're using 4,000. Just add a message right here. The role will be developer/system, and you can just copy and paste the prompt that's in the description down below. And I'm going to add another message which is going to be user. So to limit the amount of tokens that we're using, to not give it too much and overwhelm the system, we're going to use this substring function. It's going to be in the description down below, so you can just copy and paste it there. But if you can't find the substring or it's not working for you, just copy and paste it in here. Go to the text and binary functions, and you're going to go to substring over here. So in this first column, what you're going to add is the data from this HTTP module. Just click there and just click data, like that. So what this substring is doing is basically going from the 100th character to 2000th character. So not giving it too many characters, which will basically just overwhelm the system and just consume way too many tokens. So there's a bit of mitigation going on there, but there's obviously better ways of doing this. So please, if you know how to do it, please let us know. So we just got that right there, and 4,000 tokens, and just click save. And here's yet another ChatGPT step. I promise it's the last one, and then we're almost done with this make scenario. We're going to go to ChatGPT, go to create a completion. We're going to use GPT 4.0, add a message, role, it's going to be developer/system. Just going to paste it in the role/system that's in the description over here. And just going to add another message with the role user, paste this in here. Accommodation standard, we're going to have that like that. And list of hotels, we're going to have the result of the previous ChatGPT step, which is going to be this one. And that's all we need to configure. And the max completion tokens, we're using a lot less tokens here. I've got 900 tokens. Still a lot, but it's a lot less in this case. And then finally, it's going to use a set variable tool. So we're going to go to tools, set a variable, hotel_info. The information will be the result of this ChatGPT step like that. Okay, that is the accommodation information sorted done. Let's just test to see if everything's working as expected. So we can just disable this route for now, and we can just click run once. Go back to Voiceflow, reuse last data, and click send. So as you can see, the result got us a hotel. Prime location and comfort, star rating 4 out of 5, price is 45,000 Rand. So cool, and it got saved in a variable. So now let's send all of this information back over to make.com. So to send this information back to make.com, we're going to collect these two variables at the end here and use a webhook response. Let's just activate this back on, just enable route. I'm just going to click on this router one more time, and we're going to say get variables, get multiple variables. Add an item, and the first variable they're going to get is going to be the flight price, and the next one is going to be the hotel info. Click save, and then we're going to add a webhook response. The webhook response body, you can just copy and paste the code that I put in the description down below. I'm just going to align this quickly. I'm going to see if everything's working. So I'm going to click run once, click send right here, reuse last values, click send, see if everything is working as expected. Cool, so we got the flight price and the hotel information. Okay, so now that we got the information back from make.com, we can use it in our next step, which is going to use AI to basically collate that information and put it out in a way that the user can actually see the information. So the next step that we're going to do is go over here, and we're going to have a prompt step, and we're going to create a prompt. So we're just going to label the prompt final budget, and we're going to have the system prompt. Once again, it's going to be in the description down below. Just going to paste that in, and we're just going to add system memory over here, conversation history, and we're going to paste the prompt that's over here into the chatbot. And at this end here, you can just change that monetary value to the currency of your country. We're going to set up this variables field here, which gets the flight cost, the accommodation information, and the depart and return dates. So we can create dynamic budgets for food and activities for that time frame. So now we're just going to set up a set AI step, which will extract the budget from this prompt over here, and that will be sent over to the travel agent for seamless follow-up. Okay, so we're just going to label it budget extractor of AI model to the prompt. You can just enter this one over here, and we're going to apply this budget to a new variable called initial budget. Create that variable. So now we're just going to add a message that just confirms to the user that we can actually organize this trip for them, and it gives them the option to get in contact with a travel agent. So this is actually where the start of the lead capture happens. So it's going to say message. Now that you have your budget, would you like to get in contact with a travel agent? So we're just going to have two buttons, which is going to be yes and no. You can label this button yes, add another no. And if they say no, we're just going to just end the conversation, just giving them a message saying thank you for using Chatbot. I'm just going to end it. Actions, just go end. And if yes, that's where you can collect some of the leads information. So we're just going to have a talk step, just a message, just say amazing. I'm going to ask for their full name, and we're going to use a capture step over here, drag that under there, and we're going to create a new entity. I'm going to name it name, and the data type will be a name, that entity. And next what we need to do is actually get the email address, talk, message, thanks. I'm just going to give them back their name just to make it a bit more personable. Just add another capture step, drag it under there, and you're going to create an entity, and we're going to label this entity email, and we're going to have it as email as the data type. Create that entity. Now we're going to ask for the user's phone number, talk, message, got it, and we'll go listen, capture, like that right under there. Entities, create an entity, and we're going to label it phone number, select data type. It is going to be a phone number, create that entity. So we're just going to ask them the preferred contact method, and we're just going to drag some buttons under there. We'll have two buttons, by phone, add another by email. Now set the variables of each. Set value expression, we can just create a new variable, name it contact method, create variable, and just label this phone. And then for this one, we can do the same thing, just use the set step, label expression, use the same variable, contact method, value will be by email or just email. Cool. Now we're going to post all the information that's from the chat onto a CRM like Google Sheets for the travel agent to follow up seamlessly. So to do that, we're just going to drag this over here and go to dev and go to API, join that back there. It's going to be a post request, and we're going to head over back to make.com to create a new scenario. So we're going to create a new scenario in Make. You're going to add a webhook, create a custom webhook. I'm just going to add a new one. I'm going to name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it template. I'm going to save that, click save. Just going to copy this address to clipboard, head over back to Voiceflow and just paste it over here. Just make sure the method is post. And the headers are going to be as similar as last time. We have content type, and the value is going to be application/JSON. So we're just going to send all the information from the chat into the Google Sheets, so the travel agent can follow up seamlessly. So we can just say plus over here. Those are all the fields that we send over to Google Sheets. We don't need to capture a response. We can just see if everything's working. Just click send, and remember to zoom out of the window so you can get the whole thing. You can click save and just click run once over here. I'm just going to populate this with some information. Click send. 200, that means everything went through. You can see we got all the information from the chat. Now we can just add a Google Sheets. We're going to add a row. You're going to have to connect your Google account, and I'll have a link in the description to a video that will walk you through connecting a Google account to make.com. You're going to click add there, and then you can follow the video on from there. So once you've connected your account, go to Google Sheets and create a new sheet that has these headings. We're going to have the name, email, phone number, departure city, all of the information that we're sending over from Voiceflow into make.com. You want to have a header for all of them. So once you've created that, you want to go back to make. You're going to click here to choose a file. You're going to search the name for the sheet that you just created. Chatbot lead gen right there. Sheet name, just go sheet 1. Will contain headers, yes. So for the name, you can just put in the name. Email, you can just put an email, and so on and so forth. Once you've filled out all the fields, you just want to click save, and we can just test to see if this is all working. So I'm just going to click run once real quick. Run once. Go back to Chatbot. Go to this API post. We're going to click send right here. Say reuse last values. Click send. Send over, and fill out some dummy information. That means everything's working, and the chatbot is basically done. done. So now we just need to send a confirmation to the user telling them that the information has been sent over to the travel agents and they'll be in contact soon. And we can just end the conversation there. So the chatbot is actually completed now, but we need to do one more thing to make sure that this chatbot functions correctly. So just go to the beginning of this workflow. The part of the workflow we ask when they want to depart. So we want to label this depart questionnaire where we get the depart date to be depart. I'm going to head over back to destination generator, jump over here, click on this and search depart. So every time we get to this block, it's going to jump back into the main flow where we create the budget for the user. So now that we've set that up, let's check to see if the chatbot is working fully. So I'm going to click run here, run test. Let's say I need help with a budget. Let's say I don't have a destination in mind. And let's say we're looking for to relax and recharge. Cool, let's say warm and sunny climate. I'm willing to travel anywhere in the world with a high budget. So now it's just calculating a place for me to travel to. So it's recommended the Maldives. That's a perfect destination. So let's just say, yeah, that's perfect. Let's say applying to depart 2025-02-10 Johannesburg, and when do we plan to return? 2025-02-17. Let's say it's a week. What class would you like to fly? Let's just say economy. Let's just say a mid-range place. Let's say one adult is traveling. Not traveling with children. Let's just say I need one room. So now it's just getting the information from make.com. It'll take maybe a couple of seconds. So as you can see, it got the flight price to Maldives, which is 21,000 Rand. It's given us the Ocean View Inn hotel for 7 nights. It's approximately 1,980 per night, giving us a grand total of 13,860 Rand. And it gave us a meal budget of 750 Rand per day. Gave us some activities, some miscellaneous expenses with a budget. So then we can say now we'd like to contact a travel agent because we're happy with that. And let's just give it my full name. Say test@gmail.com. And once my phone number, let's give it a fake phone number. And let's just say I'd like to be contacted by phone. So now that it's done, let's head over to the Google Sheet to see if everything has come through. As you can see, everything has come through: the name, the email, the phone number, departure city. Everything that was in the conversation has come through into the Google Sheet. So that is the chatbot done. The chatbot is done. You can publish this on the website by clicking publish over here. Click publish, go back here, go to integration. It's going to be widget, and you're just going to paste in this information into your website of choice. And there you have it, a fully functional chatbot that can generate leads, answer FAQ questions, and even create a personalized budget for each user using information from booking.com API. This is only just one example of how AI can revolutionize the way businesses operate. AI can do so much more for businesses. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to download your free ebook using the link in the description down below. And if you're ready to explore how AI can specifically work for your business, use the link in the description down below to book a free discovery call with me. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.